Again, yes, I am super aware that I don't have the spirals on my face, but I ran out of red paint. Welcome back to another Saw video, specifically Saw 2. It's just so interesting to me how the first two films are the most celebrated ones of this franchise, and yet they're both super different from each other. They definitely upped the traps, and there's way more characters and a lot more side plots alongside the main plot itself. So once we figured out who was behind all the tapes in the first one, what do you do with the second one? Put that villain up front and center for the viewer to experience and learn about. With the way Jigsaw's just sitting there being super trivial with the main character, saying things that don't sound like they mean anything at all, but actually mean a lot by the end of this story, reminded me of Hannibal Lecter. The detectives in these films, they go to Hannibal for help on these specific serial killers that are copying his killing style. And that's pretty similar to what Jigsaw's doing here. When the criminal you're after isn't so worried about being captured by the police, I'd be a little concerned. Because it's like, what's with this calmness? Do you have an ulterior motive? Do you have a plan B to get out of this? What's going on here? And skipping a little bit ahead, we do see that Jigsaw did have an ulterior motive. Shocker? If you're one of these cops, then yes, it's very shocking. But if you're a person with common sense, then no, it's not very shocking. The fact that she was the last one to get up out of everybody should have thrown some alarm bells for me. Because how are you the very last person to get up? And it looks like all of these people were already walking around, getting used to their surroundings and such, and she's the last one to wake up. Her performance with the way she becomes explosive and freaks out, screaming and just rummaging through the room trying to find clues and such, that really sold me on, okay, she is doing this again.
No, that's not a good idea.
So what are we gonna do, huh?
This is such macho man energy, okay? That's why one of them gets eliminated.
Jigsaw piece I cut from my subjects was only ever meant to be a symbol that subject was missing something, the survival instinct.
I loved that they explained the jigsaw pieces here, because if you realize in the first film, we don't get a lot of explanation to anything that Jigsaw does in that movie. I also just love Tobin Bell's voice. He's so calm and collected and just so inviting with his words. Look at John Kramer just sitting there doing nothing, and still these people end up getting killed in his own trap.
Well, we've established that the macho bullshit approach isn't opening the door.
But this girl right here, she is a queen, okay? I love when women call men out on their alpha BS. Like, get out of here, dude. By the way, that bat with the nails in it reminded me of the bat from The Last of Us. Skipping a little forward to when Abby's in the oven, I practically was yelling, hold the door open. You should use your common sense and realize, hey, this might close automatically. Even if the door wasn't a part of the trap and it never closed, holding it is still a good precaution, okay? But in this case, it does close.
In a split second, your world's cracked open. You look at things differently, you smell things differently.
And I very much appreciate when a sequel goes back to the original and fills in some of those spots that may have been a little bit questionable. I also enjoyed how in the next few scenes we just learn a little bit more about John Kramer. Detective Eric just continuously does not play Jigsaw's most simple game. All you have to do is listen to the man talk. I mean, I would be sitting there taking notes. These other people are going through death traps, and you're telling me that my only trap is to talk to you and listen to the words you're saying? Hello? These cops are not it. They are the dumbest cops, I promise you.
What were you arrested for?
Possession.
I thought you said that.
Maybe you should talk to the cop who arrested me.
I love how a very important piece of dialogue is spoken here, and it's so easy to overlook as the viewer. It was done so casually that it's not easy to pick up on.
It will be like finding a needle in a haystack.
My guy John's got jokes, guys. Not too much to talk about here. I just really love Tobin Bell's acting. You can tell that he had a lot of fun playing John Kramer / Jigsaw in this movie. Alright, I know that Amanda's needle pit scene is very close here, but I didn't put it as a favorite scene because I personally just didn't enjoy watching it. And the reason why I do favorite scenes is to talk about scenes that I personally enjoyed watching and experiencing. So I had to mention it because it's a great scene, very, very effective, but it's not a favorite scene of mine because it's uncomfortable for me to watch. Amanda is a badass though. The way she just like moves all those other needles out of the way and finds the key like that.
You were the arresting officer in all their cases, planted all the evidence used to obtain their convictions. Your son is playing a game with a lot of people who don't like you.
My hatred for Detective Eric is validated in this scene. In this whole movie, John is reading him for filth. And to get this reveal was just so, I loved it. And you know what's crazy? That wasn't even the biggest plot twist of this movie. Alright, and I also want to talk about that girl who gets her hands stuck in the blade thing, because it's such a popular trap for people to trash on. Look at it from this perspective. She has been dosed with poison, essentially, and she's dying, okay? She's been coughing up blood for the last hour and a half. She's also probably dehydrated and probably hasn't eaten. We don't know how long these people have been in here. She also could have been sleep deprived. Like, all of these things mixed together can lead to being delirious. So, of course, you're not going to have the common sense to be like, oh, I probably shouldn't put my hand up there where there's blades, so I'm going to defend her because of that. You gotta think about these people who are in these traps. Sometimes common sense is just not available to these characters at that point in time.
Oh my God! Look!
See what I mean with these plot twists, guys? I loved the detailing in the decaying bodies of Adam and Zepp, and even Dr. Gordon's foot was there. I mean, hell, to have the bathroom scene right under the house that everybody was trapped in. This man must have been the world's greatest architect, engineer that anyone has ever known. It was so badass of this kid to save Amanda from Xavier like that, using the saw from the first movie that sawed off Dr. Gordon's foot. The homages that this movie has for the first film, the appreciation, the respect, it's all there. I mean, technically, him saving Amanda wasn't actually a good thing, but Amanda's an icon.
Hello, Eric. The cure for death itself. The answer is immortality.
Now this twist.
It is I who will carry on John's work after he dies.
Is beyond
Game over.
perfection. And you know what's even better? We got breadcrumbs that Amanda was unhinged from the first movie and parts of this second film. We should have seen this, and it's believable too, because she was already in a trap before. Overall, this movie did an amazing job at balancing the traps as well as the character developments of Amanda and Jigsaw. Such a perfect follow-up to one of the best films to come out in this century. This movie was just filled with twist after twist after twist, but wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. And again, Jigsaw just sat there the whole movie. Mans didn't move a muscle in this movie, and he won. After all of this, I do have one question though. How did the cops end up in a different house that was literally identical to the house that these traps took place in? Like, I may have not been listening when they explained that part, or Maybe it was shown to us in some way. Did Jigsaw build 2 houses? Like, sir, your architect skills are just over the rails, man. Alright, and those are all of my favorite scenes and spoiler review on Saw 2. Thank you so much for watching. I very much hope you enjoyed this video. I want to play a game. The rules are simple. If you enjoyed this content, then subscribe. Next, I want you to like this video if you like the video. If you do not follow my rules, then that in itself is a game over for you. I mean...
Game over.